Hi, Eva. How are you?
Hi, I'm okay.
Good. It's good to see you again.
You too. You too. Thank you.
Mhm, mhm. All right. So, if you remember last time we had met, we had talked about informed consent and your rights as a client, and a little bit of kind of our expectations of you, your expectations of us. Um, and if you don't have any questions about any of that, we'll be able to kind of move forward and start getting into kind of what brings you in and start focusing on how to move forward in terms of helping you. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
Okay.
Thanks for making it clear.
Okay. Yep. Of course. Um, and and kind of what this looks like too is we're talking about what brings you, and we're going to cover a lot of things, even sometimes things that doesn't necessarily seem related to what brought you in here. But my goal today is to really try to gain just a kind of a big picture of what's going on with you, because sometimes things don't seem related and they are related. And I just want to try to have as clear of a picture as I can, kind of what's going on and how we'll be able to work together and help with what's going on. Does that sound good?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So with this, if I bring something up that you're a little bit uncomfortable with, or if you really don't want to answer, or if it's upsetting to you, I know I'm going to be asking a lot of questions and some personal questions. So please don't hesitate to just speak up and let me know, and we'll move on. And maybe we'll readdress it at some point, or maybe even kind of talk about why it's uncomfortable. But I do not want to push you to talk about something that you don't want to talk about.
Okay. I'll just
Okay.
get up and storm off if it gets off.
That's what I want to make sure doesn't happen, right?
No, I won't.
Okay, okay. All right. So before we get started, do you have any questions for me about kind of what today's session looks like?
No.
Okay, okay. All right. So I did get your first paperwork that you had filled out when you first called and made your appointment with us. So I can see a little bit of what brings you in, and that a doctor had referred you. But I want to hear from you. What would you say is going on? What brings you in to our center today?
Well, I mean, part of it is that my roommate insisted, and I didn't really want to, but I know that I have problems right now, and
Mhm,
I'm feeling stressed
mhm,
in my family and at school, and having a hard time getting up and getting motivated to do things. And
mhm,
I'm a pretty good student usually,
mhm.
but I am not doing so well right now.
Okay. So it sounds like right now your biggest concern would be just kind of a lack of motivation and a hard time getting going and fulfilling your role responsibilities of going to school, going to work. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Okay. Okay. Why do you think your roommate is so strongly encouraging you to come in? What are her concerns? What is she seeing?
Well, Melissa likes to get in my business all the time, which is fine.
Mm.
She's a good friend.
Mhm,
But she knows that she knew me last year. I'm a sophomore. My freshman year, I got a 3.6 GPA. I was making tons of friends, and
mhm,
I was on the ultimate frisbee team and had a whole bunch of people that I kind of relied on
mhm.
and enjoyed socially. And this year, uh, I've kind of shut down a little bit.
Hmm.
Um, and she's concerned. She's concerned about me. I mean, she's a
Mhm,
good friend. That's what friends do, right?
mhm. Yes, yeah. She sounds like a good friend. Sometimes friends do push us and want us to be our best selves. When you say you shut down a little bit, what do you mean by that?
I don't feel like hanging out with friends. I don't feel like going to classes. I
Mhm,
can't get excited and interested in doing the homework.
mhm,
Um, the one time that I went out this semester, I got so drunk, I had to be carried home. And I think that was kind of the last straw for Melissa. I'm not a big drinker generally.
Mm-hmm.
She saw that, and I think she was really worried about me.
So she's concerned for your safety.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. She's concerned about your mental health, maybe a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right. Well, how are you doing in your classes this year?
Terrible. I mean,
Mhm.
I kind of have not gone very often, and so I'm not even sure what my grades are, but
Mhm.
the deeper a hole I get into, the less I want to go and the less I want to face my professors and
Mhm.
the other kids in class. And I mean, I'm probably failing them all.
Mhm.
And that
And
feels terrible.
have you talked to any professors or guidance counselors or anything about some of these struggles and about your grades and catching up?
No,
Okay.
no. I'm embarrassed.
Mhm. It's hard. Yeah. I mean, if you're used to it sounds like last year you had a great year and did really great with your GPA.
Yeah.
So don't be embarrassed, but that is something that we can talk about moving forward, things that we can work on, and maybe talking to your professors and trying to get caught up is something that we can work on. But we can come back to that in terms of what we'll be working towards. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And are you working right now, Eva?
No,
Okay. And have you worked since you've been at school?
no.
Okay. And how are you doing financially then? Who's helping you pay the bills?
Mom and dad,
Okay.
which is another source of guilt.
Mm-hmm. What kind of relationship do you have with them?
Well, I would say they are, right now, I would say they are a little bit distant from me.
Mhm.
I haven't told them anything about my grades.
Mhm.
They don't really know that anything has changed.
Mhm.
And they're nice people, but they can't solve my problems. And I feel like
Mhm.
they only create my problems.
What do you mean?
Uh, well, I don't know if I'm ready to get into this.
Okay.
Uh,
Mhm.
let's
We can come
let's
back to
let's
it. Yeah.
let's come
Yeah.
back to it. I
Yep.
feel like I'm not quite ready.
Sure. Sure. Okay. And how far away do your parents live from here?
My parents, so I go to school on the East Coast,
Okay.
and my parents live in the Midwest.
Okay.
So,
Is
yeah,
this the furthest you've ever lived from them?
yes,
Okay.
it's the only time I've been away from them.
Okay. Okay. All right. And how about siblings? Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, so I have a sister who's 17
Mhm.
and a brother who's 15.
Okay. And what kind of relationship do you have with them?
Good, good. I mean, we get along well for brothers and sisters, you know.
Mhm.
Um, I haven't told them anything about about this year. As far as they know, everything is the same as it was, but we text all the time. And I feel like
Good.
I'm lying to them because I'm not telling
Mm.
them about my life, but I
Mhm.
really like them. I just don't want to burden them.
Mhm. So you're worried that if you were to tell them that you're struggling or that things aren't going as great as they did last year, that they would worry about you. That what else are you worried about if you were honest with them about how things are going?
Well, there's that. I mean, you're right about that. And also, I would say they think of me as like the perfect daughter. Like I'm
Mhm.
the golden child or whatever it is.
Mhm.
And my parents loved to kid around about that. But I think
Mhm.
my brother and sister see it that way. And I'm embarrassed. Like, I don't want them to know that I'm not doing great
Mhm.
because I don't know, my sister doesn't necessarily look up to me, but my brother does. And I don't want to
Mhm.
let him down, you know?
Mhm. 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 Okay. And when you say that you're the golden child, why do you feel that way?
I did, I did a lot in high school. I had a lot of nice friends and, played on the soccer team and we went to state and stuff like that. Just like had a
Mhm,
all American childhood
mhm,
and didn't have tons of problems.
mhm,
So, I didn't get in trouble. I didn't drink much.
mhm,
I was kind of a goody two shoes.
mhm. So you feel some pressure to kind of keep this going, this great student, great athlete, great friend, not getting in trouble. You feel
Yeah,
pressure to keep this persona.
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Why did you pick the East Coast to go to school? How was that decision for you?
You sound like my parents now. Uh,
So were they not happy with you going this far away?
no, they were proud of me. I think
Okay.
they just, they wanted me to go wherever I would be the happiest.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe, it's not that I wanted to get away from my family,
Mm-hmm.
but I definitely felt like I just want to be my own person. And uh going far away felt like one way to make that happen.
Mm-hmm. So you were looking at this as an opportunity to really kind of figure out who you were and gain some independence and kind of break that tie a little bit from your parents and from their expectations. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yes, absolutely. And to
Mhm.
reinvent myself, like I didn't have to be the same
Mhm.
person that I was in high school because I didn't know
Mhm.
anybody here,
Mhm. 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 So how do you feel like you did with this reinventing, with this independence? How did you do this last year?
I think I did great last year. I think it
Okay,
was wonderful and I really
good.
enjoyed it. And
Yeah.
Melissa and I were super compatible as roommates
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
I liked my professors. I, you know, had a great year.
Mhm.
But now it's not. It's
Mhm.
not.
Mhm. Okay. And can you identify anything that has changed from last year to this year?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is really hard for me to talk about.
Mhm.
Um, but I trust you, so I'm just gonna say it. Over the summer, my mom told me that she's having an affair. She's
Mm.
cheating on my dad.
Oh my gosh.
And I hated hearing that. I always assumed that they had a
Mhm.
happy and healthy marriage. And as she was talking about it, I thought more and more that this wasn't the first time. And I asked her,
Mm.
I was like, Mom, and she was super like blasé about it. Like, not that it was no big deal, but I think she wanted me to not get all upset. So she tried to like downplay it. But I said, Mom, if you cheated on dad before, and she said several times, she said, it's never been a happy marriage. And um, we're basically just going to stay together until your brother goes off to school, and that's it. And I was dumbfounded and
Mhm.
really unhappy with this. And then she put the whole stupid thing on my shoulders. She said, you can't tell your brother and sister this.
Oh.
I don't want to destroy the family. And I screamed at her and said, I'm not the one destroying, you're the one destroying the family. And
Mhm.
she's like, you don't understand. You don't really know what's going on. And I said, well, then tell me what's going on. But she wouldn't share things. And then I said, who are you having this affair with now?
Mhm.
And she said, that's none of your business.
Mhm.
And I said, it is my business because you're not telling me all the information that I need and you're putting it on my shoulders. And she said, I can't tell you, it would absolutely destroy the family.
Mhm.
And then she shut it down. That was the end of the conversation.
Mhm.
So now I'm wondering who she's sleeping with.
Mhm.
And now I've got it on my shoulders, not that just that I can't tell my brother and sister,
Right.
but that this like this weird secret of my mom is sleeping with somebody who isn't my dad and won't even tell me who it is because it will destroy the family. It's just like the family is going to be destroyed anyway.
Mhm.
So now I'm wondering who the heck it is.
Mhm.
Anyway, you
Have
want to
you
know what's happening? That's what's happening. There we
And
go.
that's a lot. It's understandable that this is affecting you, and it's a hard thing to deal with, and it's a lot that she's put on you. So I mean, it's really understandable that you're struggling with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you talked to your mom anymore? Was this kind of a one-time conversation that all this came out and blew up? Or have you guys have you gone back to her with questions or with
No, it was a one-time thing.
one time? Okay.
I was so mad at her that I didn't talk to her for like a week. And then she tried to act like nothing was different.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
every time I saw my brother and sister, I thought this is like, I'm lying to them because I'm not telling them.
Right.
And it's just a lot to put on me.
Mhm, mhm. And how are you with your dad right now? I mean, with knowing this, how is it for you to talk to him and try to be kind of normal with him?
It's really hard. I mean, he, on one hand, I feel sorry for him, but on the other hand, some of the things my mom said made it sound like, it's not that she's not the only one to blame. She's like, marriages are complicated. You don't understand. And
Mhm,
I don't, it's true, but she won't
mhm,
tell me. And I
mhm,
don't know how to talk. I mean, like, I can't talk to my dad about this. I can't talk to anybody about this. I didn't
mhm.
even tell Melissa. She's my best friend.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So, I mean, this has really taken what you had thought of your family and this great marriage between your parents and really kind of just blown all of this up and made you really kind of question eh, everything that you've known. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And suddenly college seems stupid. I'm just like,
Mhm,
what difference does it make now?
mhm. Okay. Why haven't you talked to Melissa about this? It sounds like she's a good friend, a supportive friend. She's known you now for over a year. Why haven't you talked to her?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just avoiding it. It's a hard conversation to have. And
Mhm,
she'd probably listen, but then
mhm,
things would
mhm,
happen. Like I'd have to like do something about it. And I don't want to do anything about it. I want my parents to do something about it because it's their mess.
mhm, mhm.
Um,
Do you
so that's why.
do you feel like it would, how do you how do you think it would make you feel to have somebody else know about this? I mean, on the one hand, I could see maybe it would make you feel a little bit better that it's not all on you, all on your shoulders. On the other hand, it could make it feel more real that somebody else knows about it. How do you think it would be to talk to somebody about this? How is it to tell me even?
It feels like a load off my shoulders to tell you because I've been carrying it around for months.
Mhm, mhm,
Um, if I guess it would feel good if I told Melissa
mhm,
that I just worry about what would happen after that.
mhm.
It wouldn't just be a simple conversation. Then it would be, there'd
Right,
be other things that had to happen as a result of that.
right, right. There's pros and cons of everything, right? So there would be benefits potentially of telling her, but maybe there'd be other, consequences as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who else do you have for support? Who else, what other close friends do you have? Or,
Mm, I mean, normally I would have said my brother and sister, but because they're sort of affected by this, I've
Mhm,
not confided in them.
mhm,
And I had so many friends that I liked last year on the Ultimate Frisbee team, but I just don't see them anymore.
mhm,
I feel like they went on with life and I'm stuck dealing with this.
mhm.
So really there's nobody.
Yeah. Why didn't you play Ultimate Frisbee again this year?
Just didn't feel like it. I
Mm,
couldn't, the idea of getting out there and doing it just seemed stupid and pointless now.
Mhm,
Like, how can I pretend that like everything's okay?
mhm. Okay. What do you do for fun right now?
Not a lot. My life isn't very fun, but I mean,
Mhm.
I watch a lot of Netflix.
Okay.
If I'm not going to, I mean, to be honest with you, if I'm not going to class, I'm like binge watching something on Netflix. And
Okay.
there's so much good stuff on that
Mhm,
it is, I mean, is it fun? I don't know if I'd call it fun, but it's better than sleeping the day away.
mhm. It's what you're doing with your time.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Mm. And what about any other kind of form of self-care? So it sounds like you're watching Netflix as a way to kind of get away from things, get your brain to not think about what's going on. What else are you doing to take care of you right now, if anything?
I write in a journal,
Okay, great.
but I look at the stuff in the journal and it's me
Mhm,
sort of being sad about my life. And so it gets harder to write in there.
mhm,
Um,
mhm.
but before all this happened, the journal writing really made me feel good.
Okay. So
And I like to go back and look at my old journals and see like, wow, remember that? And,
mhm,
but at the same time, I look back and I'm like, God, I thought my parents were so perfect and they're not. It's
mhm,
embarrassing.
mhm. So you have written in the journal some since all this happened, but it hasn't been quite the same as before? Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying? Okay.
I mean, it's just a big pity party now.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. So you're finding that when you're writing in your journal, you're talking about, what you're upset about or what you're sad about or the things that you're unhappy about, your parents' marriage, stuff
Yeah.
like that. You're not focusing on anything positive or good or okay.
No.
Okay. And have you ever had any sort of um, treatment like this in the past? Have you ever talked to a social worker? Have you ever had any concerns with any mental health or depression or anxiety in the past?
No, no, not me personally. I mean, I've always suspected that my mom might have some mental
Hmm.
health issues, although she's
Hmm.
never been to a therapist as far as I know, and
Hmm.
would never admit to anything like that.
Hmm. So, but you yourself have never seen a therapist or anything.
No.
Okay. And why do you think that maybe your mom has?
I don't, I mean, I have no idea. I just think she's in denial about so many things in life and she doesn't attack things head on
Mhm,
necessarily.
mhm,
And a good example is what she did to me and the way she
mhm,
put this on my shoulders. Maybe it made her feel better to tell me about it, but I'm not sure what her reasoning was. I mean, it just didn't
mhm.
seem like a mentally healthy thing for a person to do to their child.
So you're having a hard time trusting anything that she says to you at this point, or
Yes.
even things that she said to you in the past. You're questioning how honest they are.
Yes. But also, like, I'm having a hard time trusting my dad because I don't know the whole story. I don't trust either of them right now.
Mhm,
And that is
mhm,
hard because they're the people that I trusted my whole life.
mhm, mhm. Okay. And have you ever had, I think especially when things like this come up, difficult things to hear that kind of makes you question things. Have you ever had any thoughts of self-harm, of hurting yourself, any suicidal thoughts?
No,
You've never
no,
thought
nothing,
anything
nothing
like
like
that?
that.
Okay.
No.
Okay. And next I want to talk a little bit about your physical health. How, what kind of physical health would you say you're in? If you had to say good, fair, or poor, what kind of health would you say you are in?
I mean, I've always been in good shape because I played soccer and,
Mhm,
played frisbee and all that. I've lost not a lot of weight, but I've lost
mhm,
about 10 pounds. this semester. And, Melissa keeps saying I've got bags under my eyes and just don't look healthy. And
Mhm, mhm,
so I'd say right now my physical health is poor,
mhm.
but
Okay.
I think people who don't know me wouldn't look at me and think that. It's just people who do.
Sure, sure. Okay. And have you ever had any health conditions, any surgeries, any hospitalizations, anything like that? Are you
No,
taking any medications at all right now?
no, nothing.
Nothing at all? Any over-the-counter medications?
No, I mean, I'll take an aspirin here or there, Advil if I, have an ache or a pain, but nothing
Sure.
every day.
Sure. Okay. Okay. Great. Um, let's talk a little bit then more about your alcohol use, because you had said that one of the only times that you've gone out this semester, you did drink and maybe drink a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
So
a good night.
how often would you say you are drinking alcohol over this semester? How often would you say that you're drinking?
I guess now it's probably a couple nights a week.
Mhm.
But it's not a whole lot other than that one night.
Mhm.
But I'll have like a couple of beers or something. I mean, I'm hanging out by myself and it's not fun drinking alone.
Mhm. Mhm.
Alyssa doesn't really drink much, so it just feels kind of pathetic now.
So when you are this semester, you would say that you're drinking a couple nights per week. Is that like 3 nights, 4 nights?
I would say 2 nights.
2 nights. Okay. And when you do drink, so those 2 nights per week, how many beers would you say you do have?
Maybe like 2.
Mhm. And then once in a while, you'll have more than that too, though, like that night that you had gone out. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
How much did you drink that night? If you had to guess, I'm sure it's hard to remember, but
I guess it depends who you ask.
okay.
I mean, they said that I drank like most of a bottle of rum that night,
Mhm.
like a big bottle of rum. And
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not a drinker. So,
Mhm.
even somebody who is a drinker would drink a big bottle of rum and not do well. I did particularly poor that night.
Mhm. How often would you say that happens where you end up drinking more than you intend to?
That was the first time in my life that it
Okay.
happened.
Okay. Is that the first time in your life that you've ever drank to that extent or drank more than you intended to, or?
I mean, I got drunk a few times in high school, but
Okay.
nothing like this. This was just kind of out of control.
Okay.
And I don't remember a lot of it. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
in high school when it happened, it was fun, and this
Mhm.
was scary.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Has anybody in your life, either now or in the past, ever been concerned about your use of alcohol? Anybody
No,
ever say like, maybe you got to cut back a little bit or you drink too much?
no.
No.
I
Okay.
mean, Melissa gave me a real talking to the day after this party about, or
Mhm.
just, how I got to be careful, and
Mhm.
she was worried about it. But
Mhm.
I think in the end, people just kind of thought it was funny. It's like, oh, another drunk girl at a college party or whatever.
Mhm. Sounds like she was worried about you though. It scared her.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause
Yeah.
she knows me,
Right. Right. Did it scare you too, at all?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. And have you drank since that night?
Um, I mean, a few times, but I haven't gone out. I mean, I think
Mhm.
I'm afraid.
Mhm.
Part of me is afraid that it's going to happen again. And,
Mhm.
if I'm in my dorm room, like how much damage can I really do?
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. And when is the last time you had any alcohol?
Last Saturday.
Okay. And last Saturday you had a couple of beers?
Yeah, I'd say two beers.
2 beers, okay. Okay. And was there ever a time in your life that you were drinking more than this? So last year when you were, had a lot of friends on the Frisbee team in high school, was there ever a time that you were either drinking more often or you were drinking more than that couple of beers per occasion?
No,
No?
that definitely, this is more.
Mhm,
It's more.
okay. When was the first time you had any alcohol ever in your life? How old were you?
I think I was like 16. I had a wine cooler.
Okay. Okay. What other drugs have you tried before? Even just once?
None.
No
Doesn't it-
marijuana?
Doesn't
Nothing?
interest me. No,
Okay. Okay. So nothing else ever, just the alcohol.
no.
And do either one of your parents drink alcohol, or do you feel like have a problem with alcohol?
Sometimes my brother and sister and I used to kid my dad about he would, he'd come home from work and he'd pour himself like a whiskey or whatever and would have a couple and would get weird. I
Mhm.
mean, he wasn't violent or mean or anything like that, but we used to kid him about that. I don't know if that counts as anything, but and he didn't do that every night, but it definitely changed his personality after a couple drinks.
Okay. Mhm. How often was that happening?
I don't know, maybe once a week.
Okay. And has he ever tried to make any changes to his drinking? Did he ever think it was a problem, or did your mom ever think his drinking was a problem?
I don't know. They never told me anything about it one way or another. I mean,
Mhm.
I think I've never heard her say anything to him about it. I don't know.
Okay. All right. And what about, have you ever been involved with the legal system at all? Have you ever been arrested? Any issues?
No.
Never
No.
been in trouble at all, either with police, courts, school, no trouble ever?
I told you I was a goody two shoes
Mhm.
in high school and junior high and everything else. No trouble.
Okay. Okay. And what about the last time that you've dated anybody? Are you in a relationship now?
No, I'm not. I mean,
Okay.
I had a high school boyfriend, but he went to different college and we're not really in touch. And then last year I dated a few guys, but it was nothing serious. And then this year, just like, I don't want anyone to see me like this,
Mhm. Are you currently sexually active at all? Or
No,
not? Okay. And are you pregnant currently?
no,
Okay. Have you ever been pregnant?
no.
Okay.
So I shouldn't laugh. I just think like that, boy, what else could go wrong? For me to get pregnant would be
Mhm.
the worst.
Mhm. When you, have you been sexually active in the past?
Yes.
Okay. And what were you doing to try to prevent pregnancy? Were you using any precautions or?
He used a condom and I was on birth control briefly and not on it anymore.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. And how long since you've been on birth control?
I mean, I stopped taking it, I don't know, a couple months ago. I was just like, what's the point of this?
And how has your period been since you've stopped birth control? Do you have a regular cycle? Has there been any concerns, issues?
It's been totally normal, totally
Okay.
normal.
Okay. And how is your mood and emotions around your cycle? Anything?
It's hard to say what's, because of my period and what's because of just everything else that's going on. I mean, my mood has been pretty low regardless. I don't know that
Mhm.
it's changed as a result of any of anything regarding my period. I don't
Okay.
think so.
Okay. 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 All right. So you had said that you're not working this year. Did you work last year when you were in school?
No, I
Okay.
volunteered. I had a two nights a week. Like I tutored kids at an elementary school,
Mhm.
but that was a volunteer thing.
And that was last year as well?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you go back to that at all this year, or did you,
No.
was it an option to go back to it?
Yeah, I could have.
Okay.
I could have. I didn't return their emails when they reached out to me this year.
Do you think it could still be an option to go back if you did change your mind and think maybe you would want to?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I think so. I don't know. You like kind of have to put on a smile and be sociable, and I don't feel like it.
Right, right. Okay. Did you like doing it last year?
I loved it.
Okay.
I loved it.
What did you love about it?
I don't know. It's a chance to help somebody else, and if it felt good to not be thinking about myself. I mean, I come out of there feeling like, walking a little bit taller because I had done something good.
So you're proud
Yeah.
of the work that you were doing, proud of being able to help other people, kids.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. What are you studying in school right now? What's your major?
Sociology.
Okay. And what got you into that?
I don't know. I had a professor that I really liked.
Okay.
It was as simple as that. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not one of those kids who's like, I know exactly what I want to be when I grow up. So until this year was just kind of taking classes that seemed interesting, just for the sake of figuring out what I want to do, So sociology has been interesting to me.
Yeah. So last year you were taking pretty much all gen eds and you really liked this sociology professor and decided to focus more on sociology. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. And what about this professor specifically do you think you connected with? What about him did you really like?
She was super encouraging and funny and just kind of, I don't know, had an energy and got other kids like really interested in not just the, memorizing facts and all that. It was like real, it had something to do with my life in a way that, studying, I don't know, anthropology or something just didn't affect me. This felt like it had something to do with my real life.
Yeah. You felt connected to it and also the professor.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have you had any contact with this same professor since you've been back this year?
No, I mean,
nothing at all. Okay.
I saw her on campus and waved once, and that was it.
Okay. So she's still on campus. She's still around. You don't have her in any classes right now, but she's still here. Okay. And have you ever worked? So this is some volunteer work. Have you ever had a job when you were in high school or?
Yeah, I worked in a mall and, at a clothing store or something for a little bit when I was
seasonal,
I think I was
part-time.
16 or 17.
Okay. So right now you said your parents are really helping support you financially exclusively. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're paying your monthly bills, they're paying your tuition.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you feel like you have everything that you need right now? You have your, a roof over your head. You have enough to eat. Do you have everything that you need?
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Okay. And how about Melissa? She has everything she needs as well. You guys kind of go rent this apartment evenly?
Oh, we're still in the dorm. We live in a dorm.
Okay.
Yeah, she's okay
Okay,
financially.
so you're still in the dorm. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. And do you have like an RA then?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Okay. And what is she like?
she's all right. She's really strict, she likes
Okay.
to go around and bust people for noise violations and stuff like that, but she's okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What do you like most about being in the dorm still?
I mean, at the moment, I don't like it at all, but I think in the past, I just like the idea that behind every room, behind every door was like somebody interesting with the story and different musical tastes. And,
Mm-hmm.
it was super fun. Everybody had their doors open and it felt like a party. You just kind of went in and out of people's rooms. And this year, I want my door closed.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know who's got their door open anymore.
Okay. So in the past, though, you liked that diversity. You liked to be able to go into your dorm building and know that there was lots of different people from all different areas, different walks of life, all in one place, all with their door open, kind of
Yeah, exactly.
able, willing to talk to you, to get to know you, and you talk to them and get to know them.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Right. And is this the first time that you've been in kind of like a diverse environment like this, or how was it where you grew up?
Um, I mean, I guess the dorm is slightly more diverse than my high school. My high school was mostly white, but was, I would say like 75% white, 15% black, and the rest Hispanic or Asian, I would say.
Okay. And are you at all a religious person or a spiritual person, or is this part of your life? Has it ever been, or is it now?
We used to go to church growing up,
Mhm.
but I don't know. It's never really been like a major part of my life.
Mhm.
I, you know, it doesn't, it's not my thing.
Mhm. Okay.
But my family was involved. We're Episcopalian. My family's involved in church a little bit, but not, I would never say that we're like super religious people or particularly active or anything like
Mhm.
that.
Mhm. Okay. Not necessarily a part of your life or desire to have it part of your life right now.
No, no.
Okay. All right. All right. What do you feel is important for me to know about you? I know we've covered a lot of things here, from physical health, medical history a little bit, mental health. We talked about your family, your parents, just pulling back from friends, from activities, from school. What else would you say is important for me to know about you?
I mean, just that I'm trying my best. And I feel like
Yeah.
I, I feel like I've had a really privileged life
Mhm.
growing up.
Mhm.
And now I feel like I just got dealt a rotten hand, and that privilege was all just like built on some sort of lie. And it feels like
Mhm.
it's all crumbled and it was like never real to begin with.
Mhm.
So it doesn't feel good.
And I hear you saying that you're trying your best. And I think it's clear that you are. I mean, you being here and you being so open and, sharing so much with me and trusting me, it's clear that you are trying your best and that you do want to be able to keep moving forward and make some changes.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't look like I'm trying my best to people who see me not going to class and not doing anything but
Right.
watching Netflix, but
Right.
to actually get the to get the heart to come and talk to you is really, really hard. It's really
Mhm.
hard.
Well, and I appreciate you being so open. Have you ever talked to a doctor about any of this? Your last checkup? When was your last checkup with a doctor?
I guess it was 3 months ago. I think it was in August.
Okay. Okay, so you guys didn't necessarily talk about your mood or anything else, anything that was going on like that?
No, I mean, he's an old family doctor and I didn't feel like burdening him with it,
Sure, sure.
I just wanted the whole thing to go away,
Right,
which of course
right,
it's not.
right. Okay. Would you be willing to talk to a doctor maybe at some point about how you're feeling?
Yeah, I guess eventually I don't,
Mhm.
I'm not rushing to do that exactly, but
Yeah, yeah.
you
But
know,
maybe you're not ruling it out either.
I wouldn't rule it out.
Okay. Right. What else would you say? So I think this really, this trying that you're doing and this really, working hard and being open and being honest are definitely strengths that you have that are going to help you keep moving forward as we work together. What other strengths would you say that you have that are going to help you get through this, but also with kind of some of the goals that we'll be working on? What are some of your strengths that will help?
Well, probably doesn't seem like it right now, but I'm
Mhm,
usually a really positive person.
mhm, mhm,
Um, sees the good in people and uh, kind of for most of my life, I get up early. Got up early, gone for a jog, come back feeling
mhm.
great. I
Okay.
don't do that anymore. Um, but when I was happier, I was super motivated and ready to just kind of face every day.
Mhm, mhm. Okay.
So I think that's a strength, but it doesn't feel like a strength right now.
Mhm.
It feels like a strength that I used to have.
Would you say it's at all your goal, or something you'd want to do is get back to what you used to have, get back to that joy, that motivation, that positivity that you feel like you used to have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I miss it.
Mhm. You miss that kind of old you?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Right. Well, I'm excited that we're going to be able to work on this because I think just how open you are, how honest you are, and already being able to identify things that you want to work towards is going to make this, I mean, we've really hit the ground running and we'll be able to start working on getting you back to the old you. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying it's not going to take work, but you're showing that you're willing to do work. And I think that really says a lot about how motivated you are, even though you're not necessarily feeling motivated. It shows how motivated you are, to get to where you want to be and to get back to who you feel you are.
Thanks. Thank you for listening.
Of course, of course.
It feels good to say these things.
Good. I'm glad. Glad. Okay. So what we're going to do is we'll meet again next week. And at that point, I'm going to kind of put all of this together. And what we'll do together is come up with some goals that you want to work towards and kind of some steps, some, plans of how we're going to reach those goals. And we'll put together a plan. Okay. We'll call it our treatment plan and things that we're going to work on to get you back to where you want to be. Okay.
Okay.
If you need
Okay.
anything before then, please don't hesitate to reach out and let me know. But do you feel like you're in a good place for this next week?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Are you going to try to get to class this next week, do you think?
Uh, I'll do my best.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I will see you again next week and we'll start putting our plan together. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. All right. Thank you. All
Bye.
right. Bye.